But when we talk to him and all his colleagues at Project 21, I think we can take a little victory lap.
I think so.
On the work that we've done here. Craig DeLuz from Project 21. Craig, good morning. Congratulations on the great work that Project 21 has done.
Well, congratulations to you as well. Spreading the good word and the good news about conservative values.
And listen, Ken found this story I'm sure you'll be interested in. The story is entitled Black Conservatives Respond to Trump Victory. And we've got Michael Austin, Donna Jackson, and some guy named Craig DeLuz. How about that? I just want to say, we talk to Project 21 people twice a month.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
And I think you guys are not getting enough credit for getting the black vote out, because the black vote, I think, was very important in President Trump's win.
Oh, I agree. Historically, the black vote doesn't generally tend to show up for Republicans. When the black vote is dissatisfied with the Democratic Party, they usually tend just not to show up. This election, though, it was very different. It was different in that I think many in the black community, in particular young black men, were very frustrated with being gaslit by the Democratic Party, by Kamala Harris, by Joe Biden before her, into believing that, well, if you don't vote for him or if you don't vote for the Democrat, you're not really black.
Oh, yeah. To quote Joe Biden, right?
Exactly.
If Donald Trump is such a racist, why would black people vote for such a racist individual? Why?
Well, that's actually a very good question. But that goes back to, once again, the gaslighting. When you have a current administration that is an epic failure in every sense of the word, you don't really have policy to run on. All you have is personal attacks. And that's where the whole racist thing comes in. That's where the whole calling him a fascist, calling him a Nazi. But then on top of it, they had the nerve to tell people, well, the economy's actually doing great. And there is no problem at the southern border. And, well, there is no real crime going on. And yet, in all of those cases, the people who have fallen most victim to the lies of the left have been people in urban communities, which primarily happens to make up people of color.
And let me tell you, this city right here, the urban St. Louis city, I say this all the time, people are bored with it, I'm sure. We haven't had a Republican mayor in this city since, you ready for the year, Craig? 1949. 1949. And the city is crumbling. It's a shop hole, and they don't want to do anything to change it. Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And black Democrats in this city are voting for Democrats who do nothing for them. They don't even like them.
Well, exactly. And then all they do is they put a different color lipstick on the same pig. And then they expect it to be any different. Part of the challenge with that is that liberal values just don't work. Kind of funny how when they finally realize that, they wind up moving to conservative areas, and then they try to govern that place the same way they just destroyed the place where they just came from. But the other issue, and this is the one that when I'm talking with voters, I try to get them to understand, is at the very least, you need a different perspective. I live in Sacramento, California. We have the highest homeless percentage population in the entire state. And by the way, this is the state with the highest percentage of homeless people in the entire country. We've done nothing but double down on policies that have epically failed, and we're about to elect another mayor who's going to do the same exact thing. Not a single person on our city council comes from a conservative perspective. Not a single person on our city council has actually, owned a business, actually had to implement any of these policies as a business owner, as a private citizen. When you have someone of a different political perspective, it gives you a chance to see other potential solutions. It gives you a chance to potentially see the downfall of some of the things that you're looking at. I always say this, for example, if you're standing at the front of the elephant and I'm standing at the back of an elephant and we're asked to describe what an elephant is, we're going to describe two very different things. and we're not going to have a full picture of what it is. But if you describe it from the front, I describe it from the back, we have someone on each side and someone on the top and the bottom. Now, at the very least, we've got a complete picture of what it is that we're looking at and can perhaps come together and figure out how to manage it.
You know who needs to, we're talking to Craig DeLuz from Project 21. You know him well. You know who needs to hear this conversation we're having right now, Craig? All the stupid liberals on social media, half of whom are former and current radio people in this market that all think they're experts about everything, and they don't know. Like, they can't, you know what? They lost the ability, they lost the ammunition to say, oh, Trump hates blacks, because guess what? The blacks voted for him. So you've taken away almost all of their ammunition, because that's all the ammunition they've ever had.
Well, and that's it. You just hit the nail right on the head. They have been kind of the gatekeepers into the black community, and they've done so by basically telling the black community whatever it is that the liberal establishment wants them to say. They've basically been the key players in the gaslighting of the black community. I work in black media and in ethnic media here in the state of California and nationally. I've seen what it is that they're doing. I was just on a show yesterday where they are still repeating lies that have been debunked over and over again. And they don't understand that the reason why they lost this election is because the American people have seen through the lies. And sadly, they refuse to even consider, maybe some of the stuff that I'm saying just isn't so.
Absolutely right. And I think, can we play, Craig, a little bit of that MSNBC, a little bit of that Joy Reid that we played earlier today? Because what she says and what Craig and everybody from Project 21 says are complete opposite statements. Listen, this goes back to election night, so I'm sure you've seen it. But just to get your reaction from hearing it again, here's Joy Reid election night. Come on, well, we're young. That's why Rodney Dangerfield.
And it's this idea of, I want to be with the side that's waving the biggest flag. I want to fit in. And there is a huge element, to be honest, of anti-blackness in a lot of this. Anti-black Americanness specifically. And Paula and I are talking.
So anti-blackness, exactly the opposite of what is true.
Well, exactly, because, see, in their idea, blackness is agreeing with them. If you don't agree with them, then you're not really black.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly right. And I don't understand, I will never understand why, because let me tell you, MSNBC is hemorrhaging viewers to the point where Comcast wants to sell MSNBC, and then they're not even changing their tune a little bit to try to keep their jobs over there.
Well, because they have a message that has epically failed that people just don't want to hear. First of all, white men don't want to hear that they are the problem for everything that's gone on in this country. They don't want their news telling them that, because they know that it is a lie. Black people don't want to hear that, well, you're a victim and the only way for you to get ahead is for the government or for the white man to kowtow to you and give you stuff because you're not capable of getting it on your own. Women don't want to hear that they are just like men. They want to hear that they are unique and that they are special and that God put them on this earth for a reason, and it's not to be men.
All right, let's read a couple of the quotes from the great Project 21 people after the victory by President Trump. Donna Jackson, Trump's victory represents the end of DEI and identity politics. What do you think about that? Is this the end of DEI?
I don't know that it's the end of DEI, only because it's still in full force in government. It's still at full force in academia. Until that changes, the people who are educating those who are going out into business and in industry and in entertainment and in politics, I don't know that it's going to end. I think the goal of DEI is not the bad thing. It's the way in which they've chosen to implement. The idea of saying, look, you know what? We want diverse perspectives, but diversity goes beyond skin color, right? We want to be inclusive, meaning we want to tear down artificial barriers that are keeping people from being able to maximize their potential. There's nothing wrong with any of the idea of what they say they want to do. The problem is the programs as they've implemented them haven't done that.
All right, two-part thing here. The first part, just a yes or no, is great. When Donald Trump was president the first time, the black unemployment rate was as low as it's ever been. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay, so when that happens again, when President Trump brings the black unemployment rate down again, I think you and Donna and Michael Austin and Ken and me need to make sure we highlight that fact again, because maybe that didn't get out, and maybe that's why not every black person in America voted for Donald Trump. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We got to get the message out to people who need to hear it.
Well, and that requires us to be able to go beyond our conservative media. It requires us to do shows and speak on and speak to newspapers and publications that don't necessarily just reach conservatives, but reach the entire world. And that's something that I have specialized in. Is I'm like, look, we have to go out to the highways and the hedges and compel them to come in.
All right, Michael Austin, quote from Michael Austin from Project 21. America has been unburdened by what has been. Well, that's self-explanatory. We'll leave that one there. Emery McClendon. We've talked to Emery more than once. The widespread support for Donald Trump illustrates the desire for future prosperity and the return of the American dream. And I think that is one of the most important points. Now the American dream is once again available to all.
You know, it's funny. I just commented on a high school friend's post who said that the American dream is dead. And I'm like, the American dream is alive and well. We're watching immigrants come to this country with nothing, and within a generation have children graduating from colleges, becoming doctors and lawyers and owning businesses. I mean, I myself, my parents, when they passed, they had nothing, right? They were high school graduates. They now have, 3 of their 6 kids went on to graduate from college, 2 of which got postgraduate degrees. 5 of the 6 own homes. 3 of the 6 actually own multiple properties. I mean, we are living the American dream. All you have to do is believe in it.
Just out of curiosity, your high school friend, was he white or black?
He was black, or is black.
No problem. And there's a quote here from Craig DeLuz. You know him?
I know him. He's a pretty good guy.
Good dude.
Pretty good.
He says, in an era when many seek security and promises rather than principles, those who focused on individual responsibility and economic freedom resonated deeply with voters. So there you go.
Yeah.
Craig, we're out of time. I always go so quick with you guys, and we really love you. Please give our best to everybody like Donna Jackson and Emery McClendon and Michael Austin. And please, Melanie Collette, because she is such a, I don't know how to word it. Well, let me just give you an example, right? We were talking to her in February.
Yeah.
And she said, I thought you were having me on just because it's Black History Month. I said, absolutely. We just have you on because you're black. And she goes, I knew it. She's so much fun, and we love her to death. So give her our best, too, okay?
I most definitely will. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Project 21 and the the National Center for Public Policy Research, and the great job that they, Horace Cooper was so smart to put this together.
Yeah.
Foresight enough to say, wait a minute, we have black conservatives in this country.
Yeah, what's going on here? We have an independent voice.
Yeah, we're independent thinkers as black Americans. So there you go. And when you go watch this, Craig DeLuz, when he puts it up himself, he'll have a video of him and a video of us, him talking.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. And you can go to craigdeluz.com. That's CraigDeluz.com.